Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of the Shattered Dreams expansion for Aeon's End. So grab a chair and join me at the table. Most of what you see on the table today is from the Shattered Dreams expansion to Aeon's End: The New Age. Now you may be wondering why I only have one mage in the game. Well, that's because Nook is the only mage that comes in the Shattered Dreams expansion. And the nemesis for that expansion is the Wailing. So that's why today the Nook is going to be taking on the Wailing. Now in the market, most of the cards in the market are also from the Shattered Dreams expansion. So you may want to know what those cards do, and you may want to know what Nook does and what the Wailing does. And so instead of reading everything for you, I'm going to chain together a group of pictures, and each picture is going to be up for about 1.5 to 2 seconds, long enough for you to pause each picture so you can read the text on the cards and the text on the mats. So let's go ahead with the pictures, and I'll see you on the other side. The turn order deck has been shuffled, so let's go ahead and see who has the first turn of the first round. And it will be Nook. And so he starts with 4 crystals, as you can see here, and a Mystic Orb. And as you know, I can gain a charge with that, so I'm going to play that and gain a charge. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 3 of the crystals to buy this Mantra of Strength spell, so I can go ahead and start getting damage in. And then I'm just going to hold on to this crystal for the next turn. So I'll do that. Discard these. I'll put the Mystic Orb. I think I'll put the Mystic Orb on top of the discard pile. Like that. Okay, so this crystal is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now next time I'll have 5 crystals to use for turn 2, and this will be the top card of his deck. All right, let's see who has turn 2. And it's going to be the Nemesis. As you can see, we have it's called the Shatter power card here in play, and so that power card will never leave play. And so let's go ahead and remove a token from that. And the card draw is going to be Accelerate, and it says Unleash. Remove 1 power token from Shatter. Okay, so Unleash means that I have to take 2 cracked onyx and put them in my discard pile because I have to gain them. Okay, and then the target token moves to the person to the left, but I'm the only one in the game, so the target token is going to stay there the whole time. So Unleash and remove 1 power token from Shatter, which is here. So already it started with 6, already down to 4. But that's the Nemesis' first turn. And in solo, the mage gets 3 turns in a round, and the Nemesis gets 2 turns in a round. And that's how you build the turn order deck. So he goes next, and as you know, I have 5 crystals. And I'm going to use all 5 of those crystals to buy an energized rubidium, because not only will it gain 3, but it says any ally may discard a card in hand. If they do, that player gains 1 charge. And in a solo game, you are your own ally. So that card can not only generate 3 Aether for me, but can also generate a charge if I discard a card. So that costs me 5, all 5 of my crystals. So I'll discard that, and this top card of the deck comes in for 1. Flip my deck over, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the next turn is going to be the Nemesis. So this power token will come off, and the card draw is going to be Ghostly Stalker. Any player suffers 2 damage and gains 1 cracked onyx, and that's going to be a persistent effect. So it'll come in with 5 health, and I want to get rid of this as soon as I can because I don't have any way to heal Nook, and as you can see, he only has one breach in place. So if he ever becomes exhausted, that breach leaves, and then the only way I can cast spells is off his Mystic Orb card, and that really makes him fall behind. And so I want to be able to get rid of that so I don't take any damage. Okay, so the last turn of the round will be Nook, and let's see what I have here. 1, 2, 3. And then I got the Mantra of Strength and Mystic Orb. So I'll play the Mystic Orb to get a charge. And then I'm going to play the 3 crystals to generate some Aether and focus his breach. And go ahead and prep that on there. Mantra of Strength, when I cast it, it'll deal 1 damage. And it will let me focus the highest breach, which is the only one he has. And so I want to get that going so that I can get that breach open and start leaving spells on it, and also do more damage because it's a 3 breach. Okay, so I'll discard those, draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll have some buying power next turn. All right, so that's the end of the round. Let me shuffle up the deck, and we'll start round 2. Okay, first turn of round 2 goes to Nook. So I have to cast this spell, and I'm going to do it. So it's going to deal 1 damage, and I'm going to deal it to the Ghostly Stalker here, dropping it down to 4. And then any player focuses their closed breach with the highest focus cost, which will just be that. So they'll turn that up. And then let's see what he has in his hand. I have a crystal. So I got 3 from the Energized Rubidium, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a Mystic Orb. Let's go ahead and get the Mystic Orb to get a charge. So I can get up to 6 Aether here. And I'm going to go ahead and buy the 2 charges there. So that's going to be, so I'm going to play the Energized Rubidium for 3. And then I'm going to discard one of these Cracked Onyxes to get a charge off the Energized Rubidium. And then I have 2 more Aether. I'll spend that 2 Aether to go ahead and get the final charge. But I think what I'm going to do, if I go ahead and do that now, I'm only going to be able to get a spell of 4 that costs 4 from the discard pile, or from the supply pile. And I don't really want to do that yet. I want to get a better spell. So I think what I'm going to do is just hold on to my charges. And then next turn, hopefully I'll have more Aether in my hand and I can buy a bigger spell. So I'm just going to do that. So I'll discard my hand. And I'll draw up 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5. Okay, the next turn. It's going to be the Nemesis. So we'll remove a power token. And any player suffers 2 damage and gains 1 Cracked Onyx. So he'll go from 10 to 8. And I have to gain a Cracked Onyx here. And then the card draw is going to be another attack, Disorient, which is Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards a card in hand. If that card is a gem, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. So we got to Unleash first, which means I gain 2 of these Cracked Onyxes in the discard pile. Then any player suffers a damage and discards a card in hand, so he'll go from 8 to 7. And let's see what I discard. Well, I don't really want to lose any of my crystals. I'll just go ahead and discard the Mystic Orb because I'm hoping to be able to buy that Embody Flame. So I'll just discard the Mystic Orb, I guess. And so any player suffers a damage, discards a card in hand. I did that. And if that card is a gem, which it was not, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. So Gravehold will stay at 30. All right, next turn. It is Nook. So now, as you remember, I have 4 Aether here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use his ability. So the first thing, you may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. And I am going to do that because I want to destroy one of these Cracked Onyxes. And it doesn't have to be the top card, it just says destroy card in your hand. And then it says gain 4 Aether. And you can use that Aether for anything. Now, the next time you buy a spell this turn with his ability, you can put it in his hand. And that's what I'm going to do. So 4 Aether plus 3. And I am going to go ahead and buy this Embodied Flame and put it in his hand. This crystal, I'll just spend it to get rid of it. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with this because I can't prep it on a closed breach, and I didn't get to open it. But that's okay. Maybe next time I can. But the nice thing is I've got this big spell now. Okay, so Embodied Flame is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, next turn. And it is Nook again. Now I have 2 spells in hand. And so I think what I'll do is I'll spend 3 crystals to open this breach. And I'll prep the Embodied Flame on it. And I'll have to hold on to the other spell because I have nothing to do with it right now. But that's okay. I've got a couple of spells going. So hopefully I can get my damage going pretty good here soon. So the Mantra of Strength is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a Mystic Orb I could use to cast that Mantra of Strength if I wanted to. But let's see who's next. And it is going to be the Nemesis for the last turn of the round. So this power token comes off. Any player suffers 2 damage and gains a Cracked Onyx, drop from 7 to 5. And I have to gain a Cracked Onyx. And then the card draw is Onyx Flood. So the player with the target token gains 3 Cracked Onyx and places them on top of their deck. That player passes the target token to the player on the left. Well, that won't happen. So I got to take 3 Cracked Onyxes and place them on top of my deck. Okay. All right, that's the end of round 2. First turn of the next round. It's going to be the Nemesis. And unfortunately, this is going to come off, so that's going to fire off. And it says for each Nemesis token that Wailing has, which is 1, Gravehold suffers 9 damage. So Gravehold's going to go from 30 to 21. And then the Wailing gains 1 Nemesis token. So that's not good, because if that fires off again with 2 Nemesis tokens, that's 18 points of damage. Gravehold will drop to 3. So I've got to do something about that. And then you don't discard that power card. You have to put 5 power tokens back on it. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, and then any player suffers 2 damage and gains a Cracked Onyx. So down to 3. And then the card draw. And it's going to be a Sonic Skinwing. Remove 1 token from Shatter. And it comes in with 7 health. I'm going to go ahead and cast this spell. I can destroy a card in the Embodied Flame to do 3 additional damage, but I'm not going to because I only need 4 damage to take out this Ghostly Stalker. And that's going to do 6. So I'll remove that from play, and I'm spinning around the Sonic Skinwing. I hit the Ghostly Stalker so hard that it caused the Sonic Skinwing to spin around. Alright, so I cast that spell. And then I think what I'm going to do is get a charge with Mystic Orb. And then Mystic Orb, you can cast a spell in your hand. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to cast this Mantra of Strength. And I'm going to actually destroy it to get +2 damage for a total of 3 damage. So I'll just put it over here. And I'm going to put that damage on this skin wing. So drop it from 7 to 4. And then I have 3, 4, 5. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to return one of these cracked onyxes. As you can see there, that's one of the options you have. I'm going to return this back to the deck. And I'm going to spend this 4 Aether to get a couple of charges. Okay. So the good news is we got rid of that ghostly stalker. I hope I get another turn in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip the deck for the 5th card. All right, the next turn. And it is Nook. So let's see what I've got in my hand. I only need 2 more to get some, to be able to use this ability. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do have enough to charge them all the way up. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a cracked onyx to the pile over here. And then I'm going to spend these 4 to get 2 more charges. Okay. And I think I'm going to hold and wait for the next turn. Maybe I can get a better spell. So I'm going to just go ahead and discard that and draw up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So there's what I have for next turn. And the next turn goes to the Nemesis. Okay, so we actually remove 2 power tokens, 1 because it's the start of the turn and 1 because of that Sonic Skin Wing. And the card draw is Barrage. And it's Unleash. If Shatter has 5 or more power tokens, which it doesn't, the Wailing gains 1 Nemesis token. Otherwise, remove 2 power tokens from Shatter. So, oh man, so if Shatter has 5 or more, and it doesn't, the Wailing gains a Nemesis token. Otherwise, remove 2 power tokens from Shatter. Well, first of all, let's Unleash. So 2 cracked onyxes. And then, since it has less than 5, we remove 2 power tokens, leaving it with 1. And remember, if it goes off again, it's going to do 18 points of damage to Gravehold, which will drop it down to 3. And I haven't even touched him. He's got full health. Okay, well, that was his turn, and he's done for the round. That's good. The last turn is mine. So, let's see here. I've got to do something about those tokens. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm going to have to use his ability. And I get to destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. Destroy one of these cracked onyxes. And then I gain 4. So I can get up to 8 Aether. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use 4 and 1 crystal to get to generate 5 Aether so that I can remove a Nemesis token. Because in solo, if you spend 5 Aether, you can remove a Nemesis token. And so that means when this power goes off, and it will in the next turn, if there's only 1 Nemesis token, it'll only do 9 damage. It'll just drop Gravehold down to 12. And hopefully I can get that one off so nothing will happen, but we'll see. But I've got to do that. So that leaves me with, so I've spent 5, and that leaves me with 1, 2, 3. Well, first of all, let's use a charge. No, wait a minute. Let's wait, because I did use my ability. So the next spell that I gain this turn gets to go into my hand. So let's go ahead and spend the 3 that I have here to buy a Mantra of Strength. And that'll get to go into my hand. And with the Mystic Orb, I'm going to gain a charge. And I'm going to go ahead and cast this for 3 damage. I'm going to destroy it to get +2 damage. So that'll be 3, and it'll drop this Sonic Skin Wing down to 1. Alright, I guess that's what we'll do. It's as good of a decision as any, I guess, at this point. I feel like I'm playing defensively, and that's not good. I want to be able to play offensively, but right now I really don't have a choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we got all crystals, all buying power for the next turn, which that's the end of the round, so I'm going to shuffle up for the next round. Okay, the turn order deck has been shuffled, so let's see who gets the first turn of this round, and it's going to be Nook. And as you remember, he has 5 crystals, 5 Aether. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and buy another Energized Rubidium because other power cards are going to come out. And I need some buying power to get charges and to pay off power cards, get some spells. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, draw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we got some spells. I got a good spell in my hand. So that's good. Okay, the next turn, it's going to be the Nemesis. Well, it's going to fire off. So it's going to do 9 damage to Gravehold, taking it from 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 12. And then it gains a Nemesis token. He gains a Nemesis token. And I gotta put 6, or I gotta put 5 back on. Okay, and then the Skin Wing removes a power token. So that's not good. It's already down to 4. Excuse me. The card draw is Dement. Unleash twice. Any player suffers 1 damage and places their most expensive card in hand on top of their deck. Great. Of course. Which means I'm going to have to put my Embody Flame on top of the deck. So anyway, unleash twice. That's 4 Cracked Onyxes. And then suffer damage down to 2. And the most expensive card in hand, so I have to put my spell on top of the deck. All right. This is not going well. Next turn. And it's going to be Nook. Okay, 1, 4, 5, and I can get a charge of Mystic Orbs. Let me do that. I'm going to get a charge. And 1, 3, 4. I don't even have enough to get rid of a Nemesis token. And I've got to do that because if 2 of them on there, it's going to destroy Gravehold. So with the 4 Aether that I have, I think I'm actually just going to get rid of 2 of the Cracked Onyxes and put them back so I can get them out of my deck because they're clogging up my deck. And then with this, I might just hold on to this for the next round. Get some buying power. Okay, so the Energized Rubidium is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got a bunch of Cracked Onyxes, so not very good. Next turn. It's the Nemesis. 2 tokens come off. 1 for Shatter, 1 for the Skin Wing. The card draw is going to be a minion. At least nothing bad happens on the card draw, but he comes in with 9 health, and the player with the target token suffers 2 damage, which means it would kill Nook. So I've got to get rid of him now. And I have the damage to do it, and I think I'll be able to get rid of him, and I'm going to have to. I'm just going to have to, I think. Okay, So that's the end of the Nemesis turn. And the last turn of the round goes to Nook. And I will just go ahead and prep this spell. And then I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. And I need a way to cast that spell this turn, but I don't have it. I can't do that. I'm just going to have to wait till next turn. Hope I get to go first so I can get rid of that magma skin wing. But I do have 3, 4, 5, 6 energized rubidium, which means I could actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 3, discard cracked onyx for a crystal, for a charge, and then I'm going to spend these 2 for 5. So I got 5 Aether, and I'm going to use that to get rid of those Nemesis tokens, so at least it'll only do 9 damage to Gravehold. Maybe I can survive a little bit longer to try to do something. And that's going to be the end of his turn. So he'll draw up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And that's the end of the round. Let me shuffle the turn order deck. Okay. First turn of the new round goes to the Nemesis. 2 power tokens will come off. 1 for the Shatter and 1 for the Skin Wing. And so Gravehold's going to suffer 9 damage, bringing it from 12 to 3. And then he'll gain a Nemesis token. And then I got to put 5 power tokens back on the Shatter card. He's absolutely destroying me. Okay, and then this Magma Skin Wing, the player with the target token suffers 2 damage. That's going to exhaust Nook. So I have to discard this spell, destroy this breach. Extra damage goes towards Gravehold, but there was no extra damage. And unleash twice when you get exhausted. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, you unleash twice first, I think. So these cracked onyx will come here. Not that it makes any difference. There's nothing I can do. And that's just the start of the turn. I haven't even drawn his card yet. All right, unleash twice. Any player or Gravehold suffers 3 damage. I'm not even going to bother to unleash twice because it doesn't matter. Gravehold only has 3 damage, and any damage that goes to an exhausted mage is doubled, so that would be 6. So I will lose the game. Well, that was a quick playthrough. Nook is kind of fun. This is the 3rd time I've played him, and so he's fun to play. But solo is just tough, and with the Wailing, with all that was going on there, with the damage that was being taken to Gravehold and to him, and I can't just spend all my Aether getting rid of Nemesis tokens. I've got to build up, and that's what I was trying to do, but it was just rough. He's still at 50 health. So, that's the game, and I'm sorry if that wasn't a very exciting game. There was no tension at all. I was pretty much losing almost from the very first round. But at least you get to see Nook and the Wailing at work, and you got to see a little bit of the spells. The Embodied Flame, the cool thing about that is if you destroy, when you cast it, if you destroy an Embodied Flame that's in the supply, then you get an extra 3 damage. And that's what I was trying to do, trying to get some big burst damage on him to bring him down and to take care of minions, but it just didn't happen. Well, anyway, I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll know when I do any future videos, and thank you for watching.